Hello, this is Gareth C. Thomas, the East London District Scouts District Treasurer, and this is a continuation training video where we are trying to create the group accounts analysis sheet here. Okay, and we're trying to create this and analyze it here in order to be able to provide figures to the District Treasurer for your group for the year end. So I've been through this this spreadsheet in some detail in the previous video, and as ever we've got to begin with the end in mind, and the end is to be able to populate these fields here with the information from your new analysis spreadsheet, which is here. So this is what we're going to create, and just a reminder very quickly, if you remember, if you look at the categories, you've got category, you've got membership, investment income, bank interest, investment income, building society interest, investment income, rental income. Those categories relate to these categories here: investment income, bank interest, building society interest, property rents or rental income. So this is what we're going to try and create, and we're going to create it from our analysis here. Now I'm creating a new one. I'm not going to, obviously I'm going to have to show you how I created this, but I've copied and pasted this section here because I've already gone through this part in another video. Now we're going to start on this section here, and it's in this spreadsheet here. So there's my copied and pasted information, and I'm going to delete this and we'll start again. Okay, so categories, total credit. So you want to leave a gap because if you join them you might get a bit confused. They are totally separate, and basically what you're going to have to do is to enter figures in the debit or the credit column, and you're then going to have to enter a figure in the analysis column. So let me just remind myself, we had category total credits and then membership subscriptions. Okay, so category total credits, and then membership subscription income, and then we had investment income, bank interest, investment income, bank interest. So it's simply, if you're used to Excel, it's just simply moving around. You must need to you must know how to move around using your mouse, clicking in different cells and then just entering the information. So it's quite simple. Now you'll notice, if you're used to Excel, you know what to do here, but for those that aren't used to Excel, what you need to do is you can see here that in this cell H4, subscription income up there has been cut off. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to increase the width of the column. Now what I do is I just highlight in between H and I, so you can see my cursor change from that black down arrow to an arrow, a black line with an arrow pointing either side, right and left, and then double click quickly. That's how I do it. It's called an auto width, automatic width function, if you like. So that's that. Or you can go into the you click the column and you right click, and then you can do column width, and then you can specify a particular column width. So I could specify that as 10. But of course you'll see that if I do that by numbers, that's why I don't do it by numbers, because you just can't be sure. I don't know how wide that is exactly. I put in 10, so that's 10 pixels or 10 inches or whatever it is, 10 something. What I tend to do is just do this because it automatically adjusts it. and then what you need to do is we need to create a formula in here. So if you keep an eye out up here, you'll see the formula take shape. You'll also see it in the cell as I type it in, but you want a sum formula, so you type equals and then sum, and then get your mouse cursor and you click in column H5 and you click and hold with the left key. So click with the left mouse key, click and hold and drag to column I, release the mouse key, the left mouse key, and then put the final closing bracket on and hit enter. Now of course it comes up as 0 because there's nothing there. Then what I would suggest you do is just to copy and paste that. And you can either do Control C to copy, click there, and then Control V to paste, or a quicker way would be to notice the cursor has gone to a black cross if you pop it in the bottom right corner. So if you click your left mouse key, drag, hold and drag it down, okay, you can see the plus still there, and then release the left mouse key, you can see that the formula has been populated into all of those cells. Now this is the bit where we do the analysis. Now I keep saying now a lot, sorry about that. What we have to do is we are going to analyze this section here. Now what I would suggest is that you use one line per entry. By that I mean if you have one credit, then you use one line, but sometimes you bank money into the bank account which may pertain to two things or more. What you can do, I don't want to overcomplicate things, but what you can do is that's fine. So you could have this £500 and it could pertain to startup grant slash subs slash activity recharge. Okay, so three things there. Now I'm going to make up exactly how that's split, but you'll get the point. So we've got startup grants, subs, and activity recharge. Well, let's put £200 in the subs. So you put 200 in there. Now I've got to add a couple more columns because obviously I haven't got startup grants and I haven't got activity recharges. So what I would do is I would go to the major form here and I would say, okay, what category do I need to add to my analysis? Donations and grants. Okay, great. And the other one we need is activities. Alright, so donations, grants, activities, fine. Let's go back to our spreadsheet and we put there donations slash grants. That's the major heading, remember, and we're going to have grants. And in the next column we have activities, and there we're going to have activities again, activities recharges. That's money in, that's money that you're receiving. You're recharging monies to your young people. Now we also need to just amend the columns, adjust the column width. Okay, so we had 500 here, remember, and we've now got activity recharge and a startup grant. Well, actually I need to make that a bit more, so let's make that 700, because as you know startup grants tend to be £500 and we have 200 there already. Let's turn that into 100 and we add 100 in there. So you can see the sum of these the sum of these equals 700, which equals that, but you'll notice there the total category column, the total credits in the category column is showing 100. Now that's because I've got the formula not wrong, but it started off as H and I, if you remember. I've now got to add J and K in, so let's just go in and go to the top one there and let's just change that. If you click in the cell formula and you delete the I, change it to a K, so it becomes K5, and then go back up because it automatically drops you down a cell. Click and drag, and voila, £700. So you can see the analysis there is quite clear. Membership subs received, let's do the next one, 500, so you just put 500 in there. Member donations times 3, again that's grants and donations, so let's just put 20. And next we will go on to the debits in a moment, but that essentially is the analysis part for the credits. It's really that straightforward. All you've got to remember to do is to make sure that you keep to these major categories, and if you want to break down your activities you can. So for example, if you wanted to, this is personally for your group, if you wanted to find out how much you recharged for your camp, you could put camp. If you wanted to find out how much you recharged for some kind of water sports, then you could put water sport weekend. You can keep this to how you want, but what you've got to remember is you will have maybe 3 or 4 columns of activities, which when you break down, when you break them down between these different subcategories, if you like, for your own purposes, you will end up with several totals at the bottom as such. Now I'd better just show you, just to finish this off, how to get the totals for when you pull together your accounts at the year end. What you need to do is you need to have a sum of all of these. Okay, so need to do equals sum again, so choose that cell there, equals sum, and then this time I'm going to use my arrow keys, where you can use the mouse to drag up, and then close that bracket and hit enter, and that's the sum of all those credits. Okay, let's just copy that across. I did Control C, and then I put my cursor in to H13. I hit Shift to anchor that, and then I use the right arrow key, and then I hit enter, and that formula in G13 is populated, copied across and populated into these other cells. And just to make things nice and easy to read, let's just go and make a nice border to show that it's a subtotal, or a total rather, and you can see the double lines at the bottom means it's the end, it's the total. And when you come to populate your actual accounts summary here, it's then a very straightforward matter of saying, right, membership subscriptions received, you click in to your book and you say membership subscriptions income 600. So you go here and you type in that column, that cell, 600, because this is a spreadsheet as well, so you might not look like it, but it's actually another Excel spreadsheet which you'll get. And then you go back and you go donations and grants 520, activities camp 100. So go back into this one, go to donations and grants 520 if my memory serves me correctly, and you can put the names of the major grants or donors here if you wish. And then activities, recharges, remember we had 1, so you could put in 100, and that could be for annual camp. Okay, the next one could be for water sports day. You know, it depends on how many activities you actually recharge for. If you have a lot, then you're not going to be able to do this. So I would suggest that you do maybe the major ones, or the ones where you've spent the most, just as an example. But personally, if you have many, I would just put the total there, and what you need to do there would be you would add up, you would look for your activities and you'll just add up the activity columns. So if you had £20 in there, you have then 120, you would just do a formula. You could do plus that column subtotal and plus that column, and then enter, giving you a total of 120. So then you just go to your spreadsheet here and you would type 120 into that column, and of course these would be 0, yeah, so let's just delete those so it doesn't confuse. And so your subtotal there for your activities recharges income would be £120. Okay, in the next video we're going to go on to the debits.